Meeting to order. I call upon our Secretary K.R. Narayanan to start the meeting with our conventional prayer. Over to Narayanan, please.
Thank you. Heaven of freedom, where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where the knowledge is free, where the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls, where the words come out from the depth of truth, where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection, where clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary deserts and of dead habit, where the mind is led forward by thee in deriving thought and action into the heaven of freedom, my Father, let my country awake.
Thank you, Narayanan. Now, I take the opportunity of Friends on Same Wavelength, Chennai Annanagar chapter, welcome you all for our 14 years, 10 months meeting without a break by the kind cooperation of our members. It is the 178th meet. That is 14 years and 10 months we have already completed. I take the opportunity of welcoming my fellow FOSWLians, IICA Cupertino, FOSWL Hyderabad, FOSWL Chennai Annanagar, FOSWL Chennai Adayar, and then FOSWL Vijayawada members, as well as my own music group. It's a great pleasure for me to invite all the members for today's meeting, and it's a great pleasure for me to specially welcome our distinguished speaker, Mr. Raghu Sripada. He is very young, energetic, and very interesting, with a lot of experience into different companies in management studies. He has got rich experience in that. And then in that connection, he's also come here, spared his time to address to us on that particular subject. Rich management experience. He has got a lot of experience. And then the topic he has chosen, so what is product management? This is the topic he has chosen, very, very useful and the latest subject what everybody is interested in. And before proceeding to his lecture, I call upon our Joint Secretary Ananda Kumar to introduce our speaker in more detailed form for the benefit of members. After the lecture by the speaker, it will be open for discussion by our members, and our speaker will be too happy to answer our questions. With this introduction, I am calling our Ananda Kumar to introduce the speaker, please. Over to Ananda Kumar.
Dear FOSWLians, our today's multi-talented and refreshingly young speaker, Mr. Raghu Sripada, is going to explain us product management. After qualifying for B.Tech from NIT Trichy and for MBA from Indiana University of USA, he has product management experience of more than 8 years in companies like Just Dial, McAfee, Amazon, DoorDash, etc. He also holds Young India Fellowship, post-graduation in liberal arts and leadership. He is our Vice President's nephew. He works in Seattle, USA. He is married and has one daughter of 9 months. All of us should thank his little daughter for sparing her dad for us this Sunday evening.
Yeah.
His father, S.V. Ramanamurthy Garu, was our Annanagar chapter founding treasurer before young C.A. Narayanan took over from him. After the introduction of GST, all of us are familiar with the fact that product includes goods and services and value additions, both ways, as goods and also as services. Every enterprise is innovating to find new uses for its products and services, besides adding new products and services to improve its market standing. Artificial intelligence and machine learning have widened the scope of his work enormously. Product diversification, customization, and innovation are topping up mass production and the speaker's work. Over to Prabhu Sripada for an interesting talk that will certainly arouse your curiosity and request for clarifications.
Before that, I would like to give a special welcome to my old brother R.V.S. Sharma, Professor, for having spared his time to come and join in our today's speaker. Welcome to you, Professor Sharma ji. Now I hand over the right to our distinguished speaker to deliver his lecture. Over to Raghu, please.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. Nice to meet you. I do have some PowerPoint slides that I'll use as guidelines as we go through our discussion so that we have something common to look at, right? So I know you all are pretty senior, well experienced, have gone through life. So I wanted to start with a simple question. So in your circle, how many of you have heard about software engineers? Either your son, daughter, relatives, or friends, somebody working in software as a software engineer in a tech company.
Raghu,
I'm assuming
right?
almost everyone.
Raghu, I
right?
want to interpret with you.
Almost
Usually
everyone.
our lectures
Every family has
continuously
got
goes
a
on.
soft person nowadays. Every
Ah.
person, every family has a soft person.
I know. Better to keep the discussion after the lecture so that the lecture will be smooth and going. Go ahead, sir, Raghu.
Okay, sure. So I can like go through my slides
Yeah.
first,
Welcome.
and then probably have time for questions. So yeah, I'm assuming all of you have met somebody who is a software engineer or something in your family's friend circle, right? But
Sure.
I don't think you might have seen or met a lot of product managers. So when I was approached to say like to talk about this, I thought it would be very interesting for all of you to learn what actually is product management from somebody who's doing the job, can give you a 35,000 feet and go into details as we get into as much as the group is interested in, right?
Munuswami,
Sorry, go ahead.
Please go ahead.
hello. என் பையனுக்கு கொஞ்சம் கொடுங்க போனு.
Raghu, you unmute yourself. I'm muting everyone. You
Yeah,
please
sure.
unmute yourself so that there is no disturbance. Please unmute
Yeah, sure.
yourself. I have muted everyone.
Got it. Yeah, no worries. So these are very popular companies that you have all heard about. You hear every day. You hear one of your relatives or friends working in this company. Think about Google, Amazon, Microsoft. The common thing about these companies are they are really highly valued companies. At the same time, there's another common thread among these. They have CEOs of these companies who are actually previously product managers in their companies. So I'm sure none of you would have guessed that Satya Nadella was a product manager at Microsoft. Sundar Pichai was a product manager at Google. And then Andy Jassy, who is the product manager at Amazon, are all CEOs of these companies. So there's something that product managers are doing that they have been elevated to these leadership positions, right? So it's not something commonly known, but I just wanted to share that with you as we go through this discussion today on why it's really important and what does really a product manager do and set the tone for that discussion. Brief introduction about myself. The distinguished committee has introduced me, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on just introducing and providing more details about myself, but I will leave that details in the slides, and then if there's more questions about any of these past education or experience, I'm happy to talk more about that. So we saw like there are these awesome intelligent people who are running these great companies, highly valued, who are product managers. So what is really product management, and how is this different from like software engineering or other fields that you might have heard of so far? So that's where we want to spend a lot of our time. So I wanted this session to kind of get you folks acquainted with what product management is, and just wanted to caveat that the product management in this context, I'll be speaking a lot from the technologies realm, and not so much in the product management from a consumer products of like P&G developing shampoos or other products that you use on a day-to-day basis, but more on the technology products. That's where most of my experience has been. I would not be talking a lot more about my day-to-day work, challenges, and things like that, because it might be too boring and it might be something not relatable with the level of details, right? So that's like the high-level overview of what we will cover versus what we won't. With that in mind, I actually wanted this to be a little bit interactive, but maybe you can just write down notes at your own end. You don't have to spend like a lot of time. You use WhatsApp, Zoom, Facebook, a lot of different products on a day-to-day basis on your mobile phone and laptop and tablets. What is your favorite application or product? And just think about, why do you like it? And then the second question is like, if there is anything you wish to do better with that app, what would that be, right? So if you can just jot down some points, and then through the talk, it would be super helpful. And I would want to spend some time on this at the end of the presentation as well. So I'll give you like a minute or so to just jot down your points, and then I can go to the next slide. Just think about what product or app that you use on a daily basis that you like, and then what do you wish was better in that? Or how would you improve that further? So through this exercise, what you would essentially be doing is what like a product manager does, right? So you would be spotting what's working in the application, what new capabilities or features, as we call it in our world, that you want to build, and how do you decide which one to build first, right? And then see how much resourcing you need, like which is engineers who help build that product, and then create a strategy of how you will want to win, right? So all of that thinking in essence is what product management is, but we'll break this down more systematically as we go through today, right? So there are three aspects of what a product manager does at the core of it. One is like defining a vision. So why do we want to build something? The vision should be really compelling and it should inspire the team, right? So I'll give you some examples of what vision are. So WhatsApp, all of you use WhatsApp today. WhatsApp has a vision that we should have the most seamless connectivity between people, right? It's a very broad vision. It does not define how you are going to tackle that problem, right? Vision is very much focused on the end state that you want to achieve, and that should be inspiring enough to rally a group of people to solve towards that, right? The second thing, which is very important for product management, is strategy. Strategy is like, once you have set your vision, then you determine how do we win in this game, right? So winning means sustained competitive advantage. So how do we define and develop our products in such a way that over a period of time, our product continues to deliver value to customers and also making business sense, right? At the end of the day, all of these are businesses, so they have to make money. So how do we win is like, how do we deliver value for our customers, and how do we make business while doing that, right? And how do we ensure we keep competition as much as at bay as possible while we are doing that, right? The third thing is, all of this glamour talk about vision and strategy really comes down to execution. So how do we think about the biggest risks in our projects? You all have done different types of jobs through your years. So I don't want to detail a lot more about execution, but in the context of product management, execution is more about there is designers who make the app or the website that you're working with. There's engineers who all of you have friends, relatives, software engineers working on these, hardware engineers working on the creating the phone or the tablet or the laptops, and then building towards the vision while executing on our strategy, right? So the product manager is responsible for kind of orchestrating all of these together and ensuring that the outcomes that we set out to achieve are delivered. So the way I would simplify it for a lot of audience is like, if you've been to a concert or an opera, be it like the Indian concert or a Western concert, there's always one person who is called a conductor, who kind of does not play any musical instrument, but kind of coordinates between all the different people together, and without him the entire thing would fall apart, right? Similarly, you would identify on the right, there's this famous producer director Rajmouli. He's not a hero, he's not a heroine in movies, he's not a comedian, he's not like, he's not doing any of the other activities in a movie, but he's the one who is making the movie, thinking about it holistically and ensuring that the outcome of the movie, like Bahubali, comes out really well, right? So that's what a product manager really does in the software context as well. So this might all seem pretty abstract. So I wanted to kind of have more real, tangible examples for us to discuss about. I'm assuming a lot of you have either been on an Uber or like booked it yourself, or one of your son, daughter, somebody booked it for you over a period of time. So think about the world without Uber, right? Like rewind the world 15, 20 years back. Back when I used to grow up, there was Fast Track in Chennai. I'm sure there is Miru cabs and bunch of different things. There was a lot of pain points for the customers, right? So we would not know. I would always be anxious, like, will we get a cab? What would be the pricing, right? If you hire a taxi on the road, you don't know about the pricing. If you hire a auto on the road, you don't know about the pricing. What would they charge, right? You don't know what the meter would look like. Now, so that's one problem. The second problem is safety. You do not know whether that driver is reliable. There's chances that somebody could be kidnapped. There's a lot of different problems that customers used to face. And then it would be a rainy day. You would be waiting somewhere outside, and then you would just not find a cab, right? Those are days where like, and then if you have to plan ahead, like let's say you want to go to airport, you would call Fast Track, confirm your reservation over phone, be on call, and then confirm if it's an Omni that's coming or like an ambassador, all of that, right? Like so much of discussion back and forth compared to what it is today, right? So there was somebody who thought about this problem very deeply, who said like, this is the status quo of all these customer problems we have, and completely thought about a revolutionary way of like, what if we can get our cabs in a completely different paradigm? Or what if we can get our cabs in a completely different way, where we are not relying on phone calls, we are not relying on having the anxiety that what the price would be at the end, right? So Uber really redefined the whole taxi ecosystem, where you had long waits, uncertain pricing, lot of anxiety, to fast pickup, upfront pricing, and convenience. You can just book something from your mobile app and you can track when the driver is arriving. You don't have to worry, right? Like you'll wake up in the 5:30 a.m. in the morning and you will not have to worry like, oh, okay, is the driver on the way? And you'll call Fast Track and they will call the driver. That was the world we used to live in, but somebody decided to change it, right? So it takes a lot of vision of where we want to be, and then you continuously change your strategy of how we want to solve this problem, and then build feature by feature, component by component, and then you optimize it over a period of time. And that's essentially what these tech companies do, right? And that's essentially at the crux of product management. You learn from customer problems, you strategize how to solve them, you have a very long-term vision, and then you solve towards that, right? So that's an example of how Uber revolutionized this space, and there's a lot of product management thinking behind that. So yeah, there's again one thing which I want to clarify about product managers is it's not like they are these idea machines and they come up with the ideas all by themselves. It's essentially like they create the environment for everyone to collaborate and surface the ideas. They are key. We'll go through some of the key tasks that a product manager does in a team. That should make this much more clearer, right? So there are two levels at which a product manager operates. One is at a strategic level, which is setting the vision, thinking about the strategy, which I mentioned previously, and then on a day-to-day basis, thinking about the execution and how we go about that. So I kind of, based off my learning experience and all the lessons that I've learned over a period of time, I put together two different frameworks that are easier for anybody on this call to think about as they, if you want to kind of internalize this mindset of being a product manager, right? So we'll go through the first one, which is a strategic mindset. I did have another activity or like a discussion which I was thinking about. So probably we can talk a little bit more about this in the Q&A because we wanted this to be in a lecture format. So imagine we take this a step forward, right? Like Uber has built an app to connect people. SpaceX by Tesla is building rockets to take people, shuttle people from Earth to Mars. Eventually, that's the vision that Elon Musk has. So I was thinking like in a very, very imaginary world. Imagine all of us on this in this room build a teleportation device. A teleportation device, for context, is a hypothetical product that allows us to, you would have seen in movies, like it would allow us to transport goods or people from one place to another without actually commuting, but using like quantum mechanics and things like that. Very sci-fi. But imagine we all crack that device together, right? So how would you think about building this product? Who would be the customers for this product? How would you price the product? Like how would you go about thinking this, right? So for that, it's very ambiguous problem. You don't know where to start. For those kind of strategic decisions on how to go about this, what I would say is like the most important thing is to establish like a product market fit. So product market fit is like you have a market where there are customers and the producers who meet and do transaction, which is essentially you have a teleportation device, you want to go and sell it to somebody, you want to know what your target audience is, and then you want to be very clear on what problem you're trying to solve. You could solve a moving of goods as a problem if you have a teleportation device, or you could solve moving of people as a problem if you're having a teleportation device. So you don't want to be doing everything all at once in product management or in life. You want to prioritize and you want to execute on one particular strategy. If you observe, Uber started off with just ride hailing or cab services, but now they do food delivery, they do a bunch of different things as well, right? So you want to take that step by step. So you want to understand what problem is being solved or what problem you want to tackle. The third one is like customer acquisition, right? Once you know what problem you're solving, you need to define, you have your target audience, so you need to understand how are you going to get these customers, right? Sometimes you would see a lot of these services offering like free trial for 30 days, free trial for 7 days. You will see a lot of software products offering that. Essentially, they want you to try their product and then hook you to that product over a period of time, right? And then hope that you will pay for that product, right? And then the monetization comes in. How are we going to make money? We've spent a lot of money building this product. We know who our customers are. It's going to cost us a lot of money to get these customers. Then what is the monetization strategy going to be, right? So that's the fourth part. While doing this, you need to refine your value proposition continuously based on what you're learning from your competition, right? So there is Ola, there is Uber, but how are we going to differentiate between Ola, Uber, right? If you're a product manager or the head of Ola or Uber, you need to be aware of the features that Ola is building as a Uber CEO or a Uber product manager, and then continuously think about the value proposition that you want to offer to your customers. So they saw Uber saw that Ola has also started ride sharing, and back in India they started Uber Pool first. Uber Pool was like multiple people can share the same cab and thereby reduce the cost of their trip to office or their airport trip or anything, right? So that's a new value proposition that Uber came up with. So this is a continuous process of strategically thinking who my target audience are, what are their needs, what problem am I solving for them, where are my customers, how do I find them, what does my business model look like. While you're doing all of this, you want to be tracking certain metrics or KPIs, as we call it, key performance indicators, which you want to measure what's the cost of acquiring these customers over a period of time. Has it gone down? You want to see all of those kind of metrics. And this is at the strategic level of how product managers operate on a quarter to quarter basis and adjust their plans based on what they're learning from the market, right? I also want to, so we can revisit this in the interest of time, but I did add some ways in which we would kind of think about this space for the teleportation device I mentioned. Depending on the Q&A, we can Q&A time and the interest, we can come back to this and see if there's interest to dig deeper into this topic specifically. The second lens, which is more practical and more day to day for a product manager, and something which these three questions you can use in your day to day life to be better at thinking as well, right? So if you look at any problem on a day to day basis, the first question is about if I had a magic wand or I did not have any constraints in my life or the product I'm building, how would I want to solve this problem? What does the end state look like? So thinking about that kind of helps you set the vision bold and then execute against that, right? I'll give you an example of Elon Musk. He did not think that, okay, NASA is building rockets, I will also build yet another rocket, right? He said, I want to build a shuttle system between Earth and Mars. He did not say India and China or India and USA. He wanted to build a shuttle system that it can take people and goods between between Earth and Mars. That's a bold vision, right? So if you remove all constraints, the constraints here would be like, oh, but the rocket fuel won't be sufficient to Mars. Oh, but people cannot live on Mars. There are all constraints that would limit your thinking. If you remove all constraints, think about your end vision and then work towards that. That's the first thing in all your problems, as well as your if you want to be thinking like a product managers, right? The second thing is, what is the customer, CX is a customer here, trying to do, and how are they feeling at that moment? Because you are not going to be using the product you're building. The Uber CEO, Uber team is not the only ones using the product, right? There is a lot of other people who are using this product. There are millions of people. Different people have different levels of technology acclimatization. So you should have a deep level of customer empathy to understand what are they trying to do and how are they feeling at that moment when they're using your product. And you should ask this question constantly, week over week, so that you are truly getting at the crux of how customers are feeling. Are they feeling frustrated, nervous, anxious? I'll give you some examples as we go through this to make it more grounded in reality. The third one is, what's one thing that if you get right would create the biggest impact for both customers and business? So all of us have limited time, resources, everything is limited in our workplace and in our life, right? So if you have that vision that you're solving towards, what is that one thing that if we get right this week, what is the biggest thing that would help unlock most value for our customers, right? So this is the mindset that I think about every week over week, so that we are able to prioritize the most important thing given the limited resources and time that we have. So let's look at some examples to make these three questions more concrete, right? If I had a magic wand without constraints, how would I solve this problem? Let's take the example of like how WhatsApp is thinking about the vision and the strategy piece, which I was speaking about. WhatsApp if you put it very simply, is all about connecting people. They started as a text message service. They introduced voice messages. You can send voice message to others as well. Then you can do audio calls. Voice messages also includes audio calls. Then they introduce video calls, right? And then they introduce now like stickers, and they're testing with some avatars which are 2D, where you can see Raghu sticker in your WhatsApp, and then see that. But I would imagine they're definitely working on 3D avatars where I take out my phone, I project, and then Sharma shows up, or Ramnamurthy shows up, or somebody else shows up, right? Like that's the vision that they have of connecting people and making that experience seamless over a period of time. So there's a group of people, group of product managers constantly thinking with the team, how do we build the next best experience? How do we take the next step towards building towards our vision of connecting people while building these incremental features, right? The second example I will give you more practical is we had this question, just taking you back here, what is the customer trying to do and how are they feeling at the moment to develop customer empathy? So this is a screenshot of my conversation from with my father. So if you imagine a world, you used to send messages to people, right? As soon as you send a message, what are you thinking? Oh, did my message get delivered? I do not know. Like, is there network connectivity? Did the other person receive my message? You always think about that, right? So the customer here is anxious. The second order of problem is, oh, did they read my message? Why are they not replying? Did they read it? Did they not read it? You have this question. Every one of us go through this, right? WhatsApp simply solved this problem by using a single tick and a double tick. A lot of you on this call intuitively understood that a single tick means a message is delivered. Double tick with blue means message is read. So here the customer feels anxious or uncertain about the outcome they want to achieve, which is the message getting delivered and being read, and they feel reassured and relieved when they see the ticks, right? So you might not realize this in your day-to-day products, but all the products that you use, including the Zoom that you are using right now, is being thoughtfully built to make it seamless and effortless for all of us to use. And that's why technology scales really fast, because it can unlock. You don't have to build it for Raghu, for Sundaram, for Sharma. You can just build it for everyone, and it works because there is a deep sense of customer empathy involved in this. So this is another example I wanted to share. This is whenever you're trying to join a Zoom meeting, it'll ask you, it'll show you a preview of yourself with a photo or a video and also your mic. It really alleviates the anxiety that, oh, am I seen well in the video? What else is coming from my room in the video? I want to be very sure and certain that I feel self-conscious and or nervous. And what Zoom this check does is like it gives you reassurance that yes, I know what's being shown in my room, right? Like I know that there is a vacuum cleaner in my room which is not shown in this video, and it gives me peace of mind, right? So this is also very thoughtfully built, this screen that you see here whenever you try to log into Zoom, right? The third example I would like to give you is like YouTube. We all log into YouTube. Imagine YouTube was like Google search, right? Where there was just a search bar and you had to type something to even start seeing content. It would be very hard, and YouTube will not have the same viewership, and customers would not have the same fun using YouTube. The reason is because people come to YouTube to discover content without having to try and waste their time thinking what they want to look at. Oftentimes you come to YouTube, you see something and you start watching that. So what it really does here, again, the deep level of personalization. So all of our YouTube feeds are different. Each of you, if you open your YouTube, is going to look very different, right? So this is my YouTube view. And what it does is it will surface things which I'm likely to click on, or I'm likely to react or respond to which makes it easier for me by reducing the frustration, and my curiosity is satisfied because YouTube understands what I might be curious about and I feel engaged, right? So these are few practical examples of how you can develop this customer empathy through the product management process, which you can use in your day-to-day life, and how this is how I think about product management in a day-to-day life. So before we wrap up the lecture part of the discussion, so I mentioned about product managers operating with a team of people, right? Oftentimes, I just wanted to give you like a high level overview of how this works. Oftentimes, there are software engineers. Approximately 10 software engineers have one product manager in software technology companies. So you would see very less of product managers. And then there are designers. So the role of a designer is to think about, oh, how should this page look like? How big should these icons be? What should these things look like, right? All of the look and feel of the page is determined by the designers. The software engineers actually make that happen. They do the coding to make it happen. But the product manager actually works with the team to think about what outcomes we want to solve for the customer, what outcomes we want to drive for the business, and then works with all of these folks to execute on a day-to-day basis to achieve those outcomes. And in the long term, we do work towards a vision that we have of what should YouTube look like 3 years from now, 5 years from now. And that's the vision that all of these tech companies are innovating towards. So the vision is what really makes technology a high performing space, because if you dream big and you have so much more room to innovate over a period of time, and you're not limited by your own imagination, right? So that's why the whole setup of having a product manager, designers, engineers helps deliver phenomenal outcomes for these technology companies. I think that kind of brings the end to my talk part of it, but I'm very happy to answer any questions about any part of the talk or anything that I've not addressed about this in the product management discussion.
Now I am opening it for everyone so that people will be able to discuss. Please, Dr. Sharma ji, please lead it. And please unmute yourself, all of you. Sharma garu unmute cheskondi andaru. Whoever wants to talk,
Wonderful.
please unmute.
Raghu, Sripada, what a lovely lecture you have presented. Product management, eccentric, presented in a very glucose form, very interesting. And I personally feel now is a time for our members to join for discussion, to bring out whatever the doubt they have. We'll be too happy to clarify. Now it is open discussion, sir. One by one, please. Go ahead. Anybody, please.
Sundararaman ji, please go ahead.
Anybody, please.
No, he has opened the mic, that's why.
Go ahead. What is the role of AI in this, sir? Can you briefly tell us what is the role of AI in this particular product management, or how do they use it?
Yeah. So what AI does is two things. So there are two different applications of AI. One is using AI for your brainstorming. So AI is almost like a human now in terms of the intelligence. So you could brainstorm with an AI to develop better ideas together. You can ideate using AI and improve your ideas that you already have, sir. So that's one aspect where AI is helping in product management specifically. How AI is helping technology companies is, earlier software engineers had to write the code line by line. What AI is doing is it can, to my point earlier, it can also think like a human. So it's now able to write code, software engineering code. So a lot of code these days in companies is actually written by AI and reviewed by humans, versus what it was earlier, where all the lines of codes were written by software engineers, right? So my prediction is in the next few years, with AI, the number of software engineers required in the world would go down, because some of the work that software engineers are doing today would be done by AI,
Yeah.
and then they would be able to, and then they can build on top of that.
Thank you. No, I personally feel the way the AI is developing, I'm rather a bit scared that the doctors, engineers, whatever the professions, they will be completely replaced by AI. I'm afraid of that. No natural brain is used anymore. Comments.
Yeah, I'll let others chime in before I say,
Okay,
I share
okay.
my point of
Let them. Anybody else, please come forward.
Anyone else, please? Anyone who would like to discuss? Sri Janaji?
I'm comfortable. I understood what he has told.
Wonderful. Sundar Ramanji?
WhatsApp seems to be the most favorite tool for those who are indulging in cybercrime. Any way to completely abolish this modus operandi?
Did you get that question right, Raghu? What he is asking, Sundar Ramanji?
Yes. So he's saying that there's like bad actors trying to do a lot of things on WhatsApp as well. How can a company like WhatsApp tackle this? Right? Is that's the question? Correct?
Okay.
Yeah. So I think there are few things which WhatsApp is already doing. Like, for example, they realize that people are using WhatsApp to recruit terrorists or other people in other parts of the world.
Yeah.
So what they have done is they have limited the number of forwards that you could send, because there'll be a message which you'll forward to people over and over again if it's a propaganda message or something like that. So they are taking certain measures like that. The other piece which they are also doing is around groups and communities. There are certain guidelines. The only challenge with this is WhatsApp also promises encryption of the discussions, which means the discussion between Sharma and Raghu cannot be seen by anybody else. So that makes it, including Facebook or WhatsApp, right? So that makes it really hard for them to moderate these discussion. So what they're doing is, like, whenever there is a big community formed, they are nominating certain people to really look into that group and ensure that no hate or violence or other topics are being brought up. But it is still an outstanding problem which does not have a clear solution, because there is a trade-off between how much people want to trade off privacy of their conversation versus monitoring of their conversation, right? Like, whenever you allow Facebook to read through your chats, it can do a better job. But do you want to allow Facebook to read through your chats? That becomes the question, right? And that's where the challenge is.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Raghu, do you think this product management will have a role in cyber security?
Yes, 100%. In fact, I worked at the cybersecurity company called McAfee. There, the challenge we were trying to solve is, you might have all seen McAfee in your
Yes.
Windows laptops previously. So the problem we were seeing is a lot of spam links being sent over emails to people, and people click on that, and either their passwords get hacked, or what happens is, like, they end up like going to a fake Amazon website or a fake payment gateway to make the payment, and people get scammed. So what companies like McAfee are doing is, like, building products that allow that actually prevent these bad actors by using machine learning and AI to detect these bad links and prevent customers from actually clicking on them.
Ask him a
Right?
question.
Yeah. So all these companies do have like product managers working on building towards next set of ideas to prevent cyber crime. I just gave one example. I'm sure there are other companies doing a lot more in this space.
Anybody else? Kannan sir, Omkar Sridhar Rao ji.
I'm I'm here, Dr. Sharma, Mrs. Sharma.
Yeah, please talk, amma. కూర్చొని మాట్లాడండి పక్కన.
ఆయన
You will be
కూర్చొని
seen
కూర్చున్నాడు.
better.
No, no,
Otherwise you
I
are not
don't.
seen.
That's okay. ఏమైందంటే I'm just curious. I don't know whether how it is working or I'm just curious. Whenever we talk at home, I don't even send the message to anybody about some product, or we just go to a shop. I don't even use that my card or anything. I don't even use the cell phone there. By the time I come home, I get messages about that movie. I went to a movie. Then suddenly I might have flashed some photographs there. By the time I come home, the messages are on the Facebook. It shows that about that talks about that movie and talks about the product, which I never mentioned in the WhatsApp or Facebook or anything. Only face to face we talk. Now, how that it is it a coincidence or is it what is happening? I just want to know.
Yeah. So this is a very interesting thing. What happens is two things here. One is coincidence. There is a known effect that if you are looking for like yellow cars, if you think about yellow cars and go into the road and then start looking, you'll find a lot more yellow cars than what you previously see. This is scientifically proven for human cognition. So that's one part of the story. The second part is all of these apps have your location access, ma'am. So like when you go to, when you sign up for these apps, to provide you very good service, they actually ask your location. So they know where you have been to a certain degree. So let's say you've been to a movie theater. So likely that they would have profiled you. You're a Telugu person. You've been to a movie theater. You have been in like PVR or INOX. They would have guessed that this is the 3 movies that are running right now. Let me show an ad to so and so person on the one of the 3 movies that 3 Telugu movies that are running, right? So that does happen. And the other piece is like if you have your apps open and some of the apps have access to your microphone as well, they might catch some information while you're speaking because they're always active. But the last part is not very common. If that is happening at scale, like companies will be sued and shut down. So you don't have to worry about somebody spying on you through your microphone or camera. It's mostly the first 2 which I mentioned, which is like you see what you seek. And then secondly, just they are deducing using all the information they have about you, your location, your past history, your profile, and then surfacing relevant content. The algorithms have just gotten so much better that they can surface really relevant stuff. The third piece, which I think which you would already know, is like if you browse on your desktop certain places, like if you browse something, then it definitely shows up on your feed.
I didn't browse at all. We were talking to our friends one day, and suddenly that ad crops up on Facebook or something. I'm really surprised about it.
Yeah. Some cases it might be that the Facebook app is open and then it's listening. If it is closed, it doesn't listen, right? So that could be happening in some very limited scenarios, but it's mostly the first 2 which would be the case.
Thank you. Anyway, I'm very happy somebody's spying on me.
Hello, Sharma here.
Yes,
Hello,
sir.
can you?
Please go ahead. Please ask,
in
sir.
our WhatsApp, we write messages, we delete them also. Somebody said in some of the investigating people, they can even get the deleted message for their investigations. Is it so?
It depends. Yeah, I think from what I understand, yes, because they would be stored in like there are 2 types of deletion. One is like deleting just from your chat and all of that, and the second is deletion from the servers where all of the messages are actually saved after certain months, right? So once you delete from your message, I think depending on the country which we are referring to, there are different regulations. So in certain countries, the messages are kept until X number of months. So if there is an FBI investigation or like a CID investigation, it is possible to certain degree that you have to, they could recover some of the old messages, right,
Thank you,
from the
thank you.
server. But once it's gone from the server, it's gone forever.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else, please come forward. Very interesting, very interesting.
I actually wanted to briefly talk about the question that you brought up at the beginning, which is, are all the jobs going to go away, like doctor,
please,
lawyer, and all of that?
yes, please.
I think there are two things which I would predict, and that's what I'm preparing for. One is with AI, like when there is calculator, it's not like human math capabilities went away. When their computers came in, it's not like teacher's job went away, right? So the role of people and what they do would change, but humans always have the curiosity and the aspiration to do really big things, right? So we already have people like Elon Musk thinking about interstellar travel. We have big vision as humans, and we always find bigger problems to solve than what we have. Imagine the way I would think about it from a medicine field, for example, is there is only limited number of medical researchers and limited number of doctors and more patients today. Doctor to patient ratio is pretty bad in India and other parts of the world. So if we are thinking about AI being an enabler, we will see more healthy people. We can see more better breakthroughs in medicines, right? Better genome sequencing and all the work that Google is doing with AlphaFold would only make it much more better for us as human race to advance and live a healthy and a better life, right? And imagine we all went to school. Some of us were slow in school, some of us were really talented in school, but there was only one teacher who can only go at one pace and teach the students in one pace and one way. And all the students, the pressure was on the students to learn, right? With AI, if everyone can have a personal teacher that understands, okay, Raghu is slow in maths, somebody else is slow in social science, and be able to spend a little bit more time and ensure that the kid learns in the right way, why not, right? Like it's a very good use of technology to elevate the level of human life. So I would see the positive side of things. I know in the short term there is, oh, I will lose my job, I will lose paranoia, like there will be paranoia around that. But I think the longer term, we as humans have always found purpose in what we do. Be it small or big, we always found purpose and we always dream big. So there is so much more we could do. And AI will only help us focus on bigger problems while automating the smaller problems that all of us are solving today. That's like my take. The second thing is like mediocrity would not be a option. I think now an average person can get a good salary and live a good life. I think what AI will do is like it will become the mediocre person over a period of time. So it will actually push humans towards excellence, to think bigger, to think more, to become much better than being mediocre, right? So I think that's a good forcing function for us as humans, as I think about the future.
Thank you. Anybody else?
The same thing, Raghu. We have seen our grandmothers working with grinding stones. So the grinding stones are no more seen, but that doesn't mean that the grinding stopped. It has come into a different platform. Likewise, washing we have been doing at home with our own hands. Now we are washers. That nobody becoming jobless, as you said. The human demands are always ever increasing, and the way in which they would like to elevate their life to a different level is always there. With that aspiration in mind, AI as a tool will be definitely a useful one, which will, as you said, will propel us go higher and higher from a lower strata of living, right? It's very nice way of looking at it, rather than saying, no, AI will make me, a scapegoat and I will lose my job and all. That's a little way, perverted way of looking at it, probably. But always that fear is there. A tool, once it is there, It could be used for good purpose as well as bad purpose. For example, internet. Nobody thought internet would be a dream like this, what we are enjoying around 20, 30 years back. And the same internet is used for all good things. At the same time, it is also being used for bad things too. It is not the tool is dangerous, but the way in which the humans use the tool is important, isn't it?
Yes, that's true. That is very true, because when the computers were introduced in the banking field, everybody we thought that we'll be losing our jobs. But it didn't happen like that. It helped us in getting things done very well. And I remember when during those days when computers were not there, booking for a ticket was very horrible. We should stand in a queue, all these things. When these things came, that it became easy. So that way also let us think the positive aspect of AI. It is going to smoothen our life. It is not going to be detrimental to the job. Maybe a fear may be there, but it may not be like that. The introduction of computers in banking era is an example of the live example for that. People didn't lose their jobs. Rather, the day-to-day banking, everything went on very smoothly. And we used to work hard like anything for tallying of books, all these things, and closing a year, all these things. That was very smooth functioning in banking. As a banker, I can say. So we look forward for a bright future for AI also. Very nice.
Wonderful, wonderful talk.
Yeah, the example of the banking is excellent, because when the computers were introduced in the banking, the leftist forces were adamant that it should not come into use at all. And today, I don't think there's any banker who can function without a computer in front of him.
Correct.
There are no big log books
And
all that.
not only that, if you look into the advertisements, every year, State Bank advertises for about 400, 500 probationary officers every year, about 1,000, 1,200 clerical staff every year, one bank alone. Take the other banks, the employment seems to be growing in the banking and not going down at all.
Sharmaji, anything more you want to? Shall I tell one thing?
It's nice.
Sharmaji, can you please give a short?
But we have to remember, no technology is going to be harmful, but it is the way in which we use it may be harmful. We have to be forewarned and understand the limitations. For example, WhatsApp. You use the WhatsApp for a wonderful purpose. At the same WhatsApp can put you in trouble also.
Yeah.
So the way in which we use it is more important.
Exactly. This is what my experience also. One PhD AI known to me, lady, I asked her, your AI, so many people are doing it in different ways and doing a lot of harm. What is your opinion? We are only giving you the product to use it. How you are using it is not our headache. They are using it in the wrong way. It is not our headache. That's what she told me. Anyway, left for the discussion. Now, Sharmaji, can you please give a short summary of our...
I don't think it is required. And
then I will proceed with
we have already discussed every aspect of it.
Exactly. Now,
and I only can say that my young nephew, who is doing a good job there in the US, shared his wonderful experience in the field of product management with the seniors like us. And we only bless him that will have wonderful future ahead.
I think I will go ahead then for the announcement of the next program.
Yes.
Dear members, I would like to announce our next program will be on September 28th, Sunday, 5:30 p.m. Zoom. Repeat again, 28th September, Sunday, 5:30 p.m. Zoom. The distinguished speaker is going to be our Vice President, very well-renowned person, Professor Dr. R.V.S. Sharma, MD, MSc, double FRC, and so many fellowships of America. He is the person who is going to address on the day. The topic he has chosen is hypertension is a silent killer. Repeat again. Hypertension is a silent killer. Very, very useful and a very interesting topic he has chosen. I request all our members turn out in large numbers and get the benefit of the topic. And I think with Professor Sharmaji, if you say okay, I can go ahead for ask Narayana to give vote of thanks if he is available.
I think we are in a stage where we can wind off the meeting for today.
Yeah,
Unless other
exactly.
members have got anything. to
Narayana,
say.
Narayana, are you available? Oh, I think he's not there.
If he's not available, I will take care.
That's why I wanted to confirm it. Now, Professor Sharmaji will going to propose a vote of thanks.
Yeah.
Please, Sharmaji, please.
So first of all, our President Dr. Sharmaji needs to be congratulated for conducting these meetings every month without break, and his enthusiasm to run this FOSWL always is very warming. And we are able to get some speakers like young speakers like Raghu and others during the last 5-6 months. Some new topics have been brought in. And with these things, I think the seniors who are not exposed to these kind of topics are able to understand at least the basics of those things. And I thank all the members who have attended today and participated. And my heart and soul, Mr. Ramanamurthy, needs to be thanked for producing such a wonderful gem in the form of Raghu and presenting to the world, and in particular to me. So thank you.
All
Ramanamurthy,
your
for
blessings
having
only.
my
I still
son.
remember the day when you brought with him in his folded hands. I remember.
I remember
the
his
day
birth
you
in
brought
our
him.
hands.
You are the maker of.
Raghu is one other son. I have two God-given sons. One other son, without growing him up, I got a very grown-up son to me. Okay. So with these words, thanking everyone, and Narayanan ji and Anand Kumar ji for helping us conduct the meeting. And we will adjourn. And next talk has been announced already. Hypertension is such a common problem that every one of us need to have some basic idea why it is such a highly rated important disease. And please join at that time next month. Till then, good luck and goodbye to everyone, and let the Almighty shower the divine blessings on all of us.
Thank you,
So
sir.
with
Good night,
these
everybody.
words, I'm
Have a good
concluding.
night.
Sharmaji, I can end the meeting for everyone.
Yeah.